What if today was the day you stopped searching and started remembering? There are moments, rare, unmistakable moments, when something deep inside us stirs. Not because we've learned something new, but because we've remembered something ancient, something that was never truly lost, only buried under beliefs, routines, and the noise of the world. Today, I want to invite you into a forgotten room of the soul, a place older than your name, a place that hums not with thoughts, but with frequency, vibration, essence. Why has this knowledge been buried for so long? And who fears your awakening the most? For centuries, wisdom traditions across the globe, from the Egyptian priesthoods to the Himalayan rishis, guarded a technique. Not because it was dangerous to you, but because it was dangerous to those who thrive when you forget who you are. This technique doesn't promise power over others. It offers something far more subversive: sovereignty over your inner self, not by adding layers, but by peeling them away. Could it be that true power lies not in gaining, but in shedding what was never you? What if the greatest awakening isn't about seeking the light, but removing the blindfold? What if the soul doesn't evolve by collecting truths, but by letting go of illusions? And what if everything you've been taught about your identity is only a sliver of the truth, while your real self, the eternal one, has been waiting patiently in silence? In this video, I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm here to help you remember. Are you ready to remember what the world made you forget? Because hidden within you is a resonance, a sacred code. And once you hear it again, you'll never be able to unhear it. Stay with me until the end. Because what we uncover in the final part of this journey is something that very few people ever speak about, a forgotten mechanism of memory that even modern science is just beginning to rediscover. If anything I say here stirs something inside you, drop a comment. Type 1 if you feel it, or 0 if you don't. Either way, this message will meet you exactly where you are. Are you ready to remember? Across time, across continents, across temples and torn scrolls, one truth echoes again and again. Human beings have forgotten who they really are. Not in the way we forget keys or birthdays, but a forgetting woven into the very structure of civilization. It's as if a veil was drawn over the collective mind, not to hide the truth, but to make us doubt it ever existed. Ancient Egypt called it the Veil of Isis, a sacred blindness said to protect unprepared minds from divine truth. But some researchers, like Edgar Cayce, suggested it was less a protection and more a tool of suppression. The Orphic schools of Greece taught that the soul is eternal, but trapped, not in punishment, but in purification. They whispered of rituals designed to help the soul remember its cosmic origin through breath, sound, and sacred forgetting. In India, the rishis introduced smarana, a Sanskrit word meaning not to learn, but to remember, to realign, to bring the scattered fragments of the soul's knowing back together. Psychologist Carl Jung echoed this when he wrote, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." So the question is not whether you are lost, but whether you've been looking in the wrong direction. Modern neuroscience has now caught up to what mystics always knew. Studies at the University of Virginia and the Division of Perceptual Studies have explored cases of children with past life memories unexplainable by current models of memory formation. What they suggest, though cautiously, is that memory might not be stored solely in the brain, but in consciousness itself. So, if your soul has always known the truth, what's stopping you from remembering? The answer is simple. You've been programmed not to. Not maliciously by every individual, but systematically, through institutions, through conditioning, through the loud machinery of modern life. Think of it like this. If your soul is a pure tone, then modern life is static. And here's the tragedy. Most people don't even realize the static is there because they've never heard the silence beneath it. This is why the ancient technique was hidden, not because it failed, but because it succeeded. And success in this context means awakening the sovereign, radiant soul, which no system of control can manipulate. But now, in this age of spiritual reemergence, this knowledge is returning, not from textbooks, not from gurus, but from within, surfacing in dreams, synchronicities, and the quiet moments when you feel more than just human. You might feel it too, that vague sense that you're more than your name, your job, your story, and you'd be right. Because remembering isn't a process of gaining, it's a sacred art of uncovering. If your soul remembers, why can't your mind access that memory? Because true memory, spiritual memory, is not stored in words nor retrieved by logic. It is frequency, vibration, inner resonance, and like a sacred melody buried beneath layers of noise, it must be uncovered, not taught. Imagine this: you are a grand symphony, but over the years, the instruments have gone out of tune. Conditioning, trauma, expectations, repetition, the dissonance grows, and yet, underneath it all, the original melody remains, waiting to be played again. Carl Jung spoke of the collective unconscious, a vast reservoir of symbols and archetypes embedded in every soul. They are not inventions of culture, but reflections of something far older. When activated, they don't just remind us, they awaken us. This ancient technique works in three stages, not as rigid steps, but as spirals you'll return to again and again. First, we must deprogram the false self. This isn't about blame or shame, it's about clarity. Ask yourself, who told me who I am? Whose voice is that in my head when I hesitate, apologize, or shrink? Neuroscientific studies on default mode networks show that our brain constantly replays internal narratives. The more we repeat a thought, the more it embeds like a groove on a record. But here's the breakthrough: awareness disrupts the pattern. You don't fight the false self, you witness it. You begin to notice, this belief isn't mine. This fear doesn't belong to my soul. And just like that, the mask begins to loosen. Second, you activate the inner perception. This is not your five senses. It's the direct sense of knowing, what mystics call gnosis, and yogis refer to as the third eye. Ingo Swann, famed for his work in remote viewing with the Stanford Research Institute, demonstrated that the human mind can access information beyond time and space when in altered states of awareness. He didn't teach people how to see, he taught them how to remove the blindfold. Ancient symbols help us here: the inner flame that never goes out, the heart lotus unfolding in silence, the mirror of the soul, reflecting only what is real. These are not decorations, they are access points. Close your eyes, breathe with intention, and let the image rise, not from your imagination, but from your remembering. Third, we come into resonance with our true name, not the name given at birth, but the vibrational essence that belongs only to you. The Egyptians called it the Ren, the sacred name of the soul, known only by the gods. To hear it is to return home. You don't speak this name. You become it. It feels like alignment, a sudden stillness, a moment when you're no longer trying to find yourself because you realize you were never lost. You were simply distracted. And here's something beautiful. Once this resonance begins, you don't just remember your soul. You start living from it. But the journey isn't always gentle. As the truth surfaces, so too does the shadow. Old wounds, unresolved memories, parts of you you'd rather keep hidden, they all rise. Not to punish you, but to be seen, embraced, and finally released. This is why the technique was once restricted to initiates, not because it was elitist, but because awakening requires readiness, not intellectual, spiritual. And you being here, still listening, you may already be more ready than you think. When you begin to resonate with your soul's true tone, not a metaphor, but a literal vibration, you start to notice a subtle shift in how life moves through you. Decisions feel less forced. Memories rise that you never consciously lived. You walk into a room and instead of wondering what others think, you feel the space from within. You become the observer, not separate from life, but not owned by it either. This resonance is what the Gnostics called the spark, what Edgar Cayce described as the soul's original pattern, and what modern science is only beginning to study through frequency medicine and brainwave entrainment. Recent EEG studies on deep meditation practitioners show that when the mind enters theta and gamma wave states, consciousness expands and internal noise fades. This isn't imagination, it's measurable. So, how do we live from this resonance? Through daily remembrance, not by force, but through practices that align body, breath, and consciousness into harmony. Let me give you a concrete example. Try this simple ancient exercise adapted from both Sufi breathwork and modern neuroregulation. Sit in stillness. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 6. On the exhale, silently sound your name, not your spoken name, but the one your soul might respond to. Don't try to form it, just listen. Repeat for 7 cycles. At first, you may hear nothing but your thoughts. But over time, an inner tone may rise, familiar, wordless, yet unmistakably yours. Some describe this experience as hearing the hum of the stars. Others feel it as warmth in the chest or tears for no reason at all. You are not conjuring something new. You are returning to what has always been. And once you begin to live in resonance with that truth, you'll notice something remarkable. You stop asking for signs because you become one. You stop looking for purpose because everything becomes sacred. This is the quiet power of the forbidden technique. It doesn't shout. It doesn't market itself. It whispers through the silence between your thoughts. And when you listen closely, you don't just remember your soul, you begin to trust it. But make no mistake, this path will challenge the false you, not with violence, but with clarity. And clarity, my friend, is a sword, sharp but freeing. The more you walk it, the less you perform, and the more you become. And that, perhaps, is the most forbidden thing of all. Once the soul remembers, what then? This is the question most seekers forget to ask because remembering is not the destination, it's the threshold. The true journey begins after the light is turned on. You don't return to normal. You can't, because now you carry a new center of gravity, one that doesn't sway with opinion, titles, or fear. In Buddhism, this is called sati, mindfulness as remembrance, not as a mental trick, but as an act of wholeness. The Dhammapada says, the one who remembers is already awake, the one who forgets wanders endlessly. Carl Jung described this as living from the self, the archetype of totality. It is not the ego improved, it is the soul expressed through form. So, what does it mean to live in remembrance? It means walking slowly in a fast world. It means listening when others react. It means acting from the place that never needed to be seen to be real. People think enlightenment is fireworks, but it often arrives as quiet, as the way you close a door gently, as the way you say someone's name with reverence, as the way you pause before answering, not to think, but to feel. From a neuroscience lens, this state reflects what's called meta-awareness, the ability to witness one's thoughts and actions from a spacious, non-judgmental perspective. MRI scans of advanced meditators show increased activity in the precuneus, the region associated with self-reflection, empathy, and timeless presence. But ancient traditions knew this long before machines could measure it. In Taoism, there is a concept called wu wei, non-forcing. It means flowing with the deeper rhythm of life, not in passivity, but in profound responsiveness. When you live in remembrance, you become the river and the rock, the wind and the mountain. You stop asking, am I enough? And you start asking, am I aligned? Let me offer a story. There was once a man who, after years of seeking, found his teacher in a quiet village. The master said nothing for weeks, only cooked, walked, and tended the garden. Frustrated, the student finally cried out, "Why won't you teach me?" The teacher looked up and said, "I have been. You just keep looking for words, but I speak in presence." This is living remembrance. When even your silence becomes transmission, when your gaze becomes blessing, when your breath becomes prayer. But beware, this state doesn't make you untouchable, it makes you transparent. Old wounds will still ache, shadows will still whisper, but now you meet them without flinching. Because you are rooted, not in the story, but in the source. And this is where remembrance turns to embodiment. You are no longer chasing the divine, you are inhabiting it. You no longer worship truth as something far away. You speak it, live it, and without trying, remind others that they, too, have always been it. This is the real reason the technique was once forbidden, because a soul that remembers is not dangerous to itself, it is dangerous to everything built on forgetfulness. So now I ask you not to seek more, but to stay in what has already awakened. Let it shape your mornings, let it soften your anger, let it teach you how to love again, not with need, but with remembrance. You are not becoming something new, you are returning to something ancient. And that return is already underway. Awakening is not a weekend retreat. It is a return, moment by moment, within the very messiness of daily life. It is in your breath while waiting in traffic, in your eyes while speaking to someone who doesn't understand you, in your hands while washing a single bowl. The true test of remembrance is not in visions or voices, it's in presence. And presence begins with ritual, not grand ceremonies with incense and chants, though those have their place, but the rituals of intention within the ordinary. Let's start with silence. In the Upanishads, it is said, that which is not heard by the ear, but by which the ear hears, that is the self. Silence is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of undivided attention. Practice number one, the sanctuary of stillness. Each morning before you touch your phone or your thoughts, sit for 5 minutes. Just sit. Not to achieve, not to receive, just to be. In those 5 minutes, you create a doorway for remembrance to rise. Not in language, but in still presence. Neuroscientifically, this activates the parasympathetic nervous system, restoring calm, opening intuitive centers, and literally rewiring the brain to feel safe in stillness again. Next, transform the mundane into the sacred. Your life is already full of repetitive actions. What if each step became an offering? Practice number two, sacred motion. When you walk, let your footstep be conscious. When you eat, give thanks not with words, but with slowness. When you speak, pause, not to impress, but to align. This is the meaning of the ancient concept karma yoga, action as devotion. Every movement becomes meditation when done from the center of the soul. Then we must become guardians of input. You see, your soul never forgets, but the mind buries it under noise, images, and narratives that do not resonate with truth. Practice number three, spiritual hygiene of the senses. What are you watching? What voices are shaping your internal landscape? What songs, news, opinions are coloring your vibration? Like a temple, your attention must be kept pure, not through fear, but through discernment. As Carl Jung once said, you are what you do, not what you say you'll do. So tend to your attention as a sacred fire. Feed it only what feeds the remembering. Then comes the hardest, most powerful practice. Practice number four, speaking from soul. Do not speak to fill silence. Do not speak to be liked. Speak only when what arises comes from the place beneath your personality. This kind of speech is rare, but when it comes, it lands, it heals, it activates remembrance in others, even if they don't know why they're crying. Finally, the master key. Practice number five, live as if you already remember. Even if your mind doubts, your soul does not. So walk like you're ancient. Love like you've loved across centuries. Decide like you're already whole. This is not pretending. This is inviting the soul to lead until it does. In Tibetan Dzogchen practice, there is a phrase, recognize the sky-like nature of mind and rest in that. When you rest in the soul's knowing, life doesn't become easier, it becomes truer. And that truth, the one that lives beneath your name, will begin to rise in everything you do. That is remembrance in motion. To truly remember who you are is to face everything you are not. This is the paradox at the heart of spiritual awakening. You do not ascend by bypassing the shadow, you ascend by integrating it. Carl Jung famously said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. And so, after all the techniques, meditations, and silences, comes a moment when the soul no longer seeks the light alone. It turns inward and begins the deeper work, the work of seeing the full self. This is what mystics call the descent before the rise. In alchemy, it is the nigredo phase, the blackening, the breakdown of false structures. To become gold, the lead must dissolve. The shadow emerges. Once you begin living from soul, unprocessed wounds rise like old ghosts. The unresolved pain of childhood, the identities you constructed to survive, the dreams you abandoned, not because they failed, but because they scared you. These moments are not signs of failure. They are proof that remembrance is working. In the work of Stanislav Grof, renowned psychiatrist and pioneer of transpersonal psychology, he observed that deep spiritual emergence often leads individuals into a phase of psychospiritual crisis. But he argued that this was not pathology, it was initiation. Grof called it spiritual emergency, a threshold experience where the psyche is reconfiguring itself around a greater truth. In this space, you are not losing yourself. You are shedding the self that was never fully yours. From the perspective of Rudolf Steiner, founder of anthroposophy, these initiatory thresholds are embedded in the soul's evolutionary path. They are not obstacles, but rites of passage. To reclaim your divine essence, you must pass through the ruins of what you once believed was you. In many ancient initiation schools, this descent was formalized. The Egyptian priests led initiates into the darkness beneath the temple for days, symbolizing death and rebirth. In the Eleusinian mysteries of Greece, initiates underwent sacred trials where they died before they died. In Tibetan Buddhism, Bardo teachings prepared the practitioner not only for physical death, but for the death of identity in this very life. This is the true forbidden technique. not one of supernatural power, but of radical truth, because a soul that dares to look at its whole reflection cannot be enslaved again. Let's return briefly to Carl Jung, who introduced the concept of the self as the totality of the psyche, both conscious and unconscious. In his model, the ego is a small fragment. The true self is vast, deep, and often hidden behind layers of defense. To live from this self, he taught, one must walk the individuation path, a lifelong journey of becoming whole by embracing all aspects of who we are, including the painful, the forgotten, the repressed. And here's the liberating truth. Once seen in the light of compassion, the shadow ceases to be a threat. It becomes a teacher. Let me offer you this perspective. Your soul doesn't want you to be perfect. It wants you to be whole. Whole means holding both joy and grief, loving yourself even when you are raw, knowing that your divinity does not cancel your humanity, it includes it. The return begins when the soul has passed through shadow, silence, and surrender. A stillness arises, not as a technique, but as a state of being. This is what Edgar Cayce described in his life readings. He often spoke of the soul as an eternal traveler, reincarnating again and again to remember its origin and bring that memory into form. Cayce taught that remembering your soul's origin does not mean escaping life. It means embodying the divine in life, loving more deeply, forgiving more easily, and walking with the quiet knowing, I'm that I am. And this is the final stage of remembrance. When your inner vibration no longer fluctuates based on circumstance, when you stop reacting and begin responding, when you no longer seek identity because you become essence. This does not mean you will never suffer, but you will no longer suffer meaninglessly, because now even your pain has purpose, even your doubts become doors, even your endings become invitations, and slowly a new way of being takes root. You speak less but from deeper truth. You act not from need but from resonance. Um, you walk not to arrive, but because the walking itself is sacred. This is what it means to live as a soul that remembers, not to escape the world, but to awaken within it. And when enough of us do that, a quiet revolution begins. Not one of protest, but of presence. Not of force, but of frequency. Not of conquest, but of remembrance. So what do you do with this kind of remembering? You don't rush to change the world. You let the remembering change you first. Because when your soul remembers, you stop trying to be someone and you start being the one who has always been waiting inside you. You forgive more gently because you see that even your wounds had a role. You breathe more slowly because you are no longer racing toward worth. You listen more deeply because now you hear the voice beneath the noise. And you stop fearing what comes next because somewhere in your being you remember you've been here before. This journey we've walked together was not meant to give you answers. It was meant to give you access to the sacred place within that always knew the truth. So when life tests you again, and it will, don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask instead, what is this helping me remember? Because every moment is either deepening the forgetting or sharpening the remembering. You are not here to become more. You are here to become real. If something in this message stirred even a whisper in your soul, if you felt seen, known, not by me, but by something older and quieter inside you, let that spark live. Drop a comment, type 1 if your soul remembers, type 0 if it's still sleeping. Either way, this space is for you. And if you feel called, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone whose eyes have been searching without knowing why. Because the most powerful revolution isn't loud, it isn't angry, it isn't public. It's the quiet revolution of a soul that has come home. You're watching Awakened Wisdom, where ancient truth meets modern awakening. Until next time, walk slowly, listen deeply, and never forget, you are not here to learn, you are here to remember, and the remembering has already begun.